Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? JeskerJames here to give my thoughts on the total mess that is the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, I knew this was coming down this week. I didn't really see a point in tuning in for the live presentation because, well, number one, I was at work, but number two, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, really? A PlayStation 5 Pro? Like, do we need this? Like, was the PlayStation 5 that scrum-diddly-umptious of a console that we needed a Pro version? I mean, PlayStation 4, I could understand that. I got that one because PlayStation 4 was such a popular system. I mean, it's like, in my opinion, PlayStation 4 was the second best Sony system to come out, right behind the PlayStation 2. I still prefer PlayStation 2. One, because of nostalgia. There's some nostalgia there, but also because there was such a variety of gameplay experiences on the PlayStation 2. It was just crazy. It was insane, like how many gameplay experiences you got. And, you know, PlayStation 4, I thought, did a really good job, and it was definitely an improvement over PlayStation 3 in pretty much every regard. But PlayStation 4, you know, I thought, yeah, it's a really great console. It's super popular. It's one of the most popular, most sold consoles in history. It makes sense to do a Pro version. It makes sense, given that level of popularity. PlayStation 5, I mean, I guess it's been selling well enough to get a Pro version, I guess. But at the same time, people don't talk about PlayStation 5 the same way they talked about PlayStation 4. They really don't. PlayStation 4 was like just universally praised, except by, you know, diehard Xbox fans. But for the most part, it was overwhelmingly praised. Very beloved system. And I don't really hear that about the PlayStation 5. I mean, it's a good system and everything, but at the same time, it just doesn't have that it factor like the PlayStation 4 did. It's just not. I don't know. Like, I look at this and I'm like, did we really need a Pro version? Like, really? I don't think so. I don't think we did. But I knew this was coming, and I was like, all right, you know what? Go ahead, Sony, put it out there. Let's see what you got. And oh boy, did they put it out there. They put it all out there. $700 worth out there. So let's look at this presentation. We're going to go over this, and I'm going to get my thoughts on it. Let's just dive into it, man. Let's just dive into it.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny. I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience. When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore. Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay? I'm working on it!
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second, mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key.
Look, obviously, like whenever I forget if it was called Fidelity and Performance on PlayStation 4, but even on PlayStation 4, yeah, I always chose performance, especially if you're playing like something fast-paced, like a Kingdom Hearts 3, for example, where like you have to be able to time your dodges and your guards like very quickly, very precisely. Yeah, performance is going to mean a lot more than graphical fidelity. So what he's going to get into here is that basically PlayStation 5 Pro is trying to eliminate the choice, which is great, which is good. I mean, this is something you're going to see throughout this presentation. Like the stuff that they talk about, the stuff that he brings up, it's good stuff. I'm looking at him like, okay, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, I like this. All right, good stuff. But when we get to the price tag, you're going to ask, well, is it good enough to warrant that? I don't know. Let's continue.
Targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU
The Big 3. The Big 3. Are we talking about Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach? If you're an old-time anime fan, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Much larger and increase the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster.
Which, again, is very freaking impressive. This is very impressive stuff right here. I like this. Good stuff. $700 worth? Maybe not that good.
Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5. And finally, we added custom hardware.
Which again is very impressive. I mean, that's a very impressive increase of ray tracing. It really is. It's good stuff.
For machine learning, and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
And I think this is something that everybody needs to understand. Like, if you were to take something away from this presentation, what's the difference between PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro? Essentially, all the differences culminate into this one statement. It's prettier graphics, it's high fidelity graphics without sacrificing 60 frame per second frame rate. So you get you get like the highest level of graphics on the system, on the console, but without sacrificing frame rate, which is a good thing. Like, that's awesome. That's really freaking cool. I like that. Speaking of graphics, why the hell? What the There we go. That's much better. What am I doing? 4K. But that's good stuff. Like, that's actually really, really cool. It's about time that consoles started doing that. You know, eliminating that choice. Making to where you don't have to choose between the two. That's a great step. That's a great evolution for home consoles. I like that. But is it worth an extra $200? No. Let's continue.
Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier.
Don't stop! We gotta look.
This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
And again, like if you look at the games that are being displayed here, you can notice, you can tell there is a noticeable difference. I mean, maybe you can't. Like some people that are not as tech savvy, they might not be able to, but I can tell that there is a definite improvement. But is it a $200? Is it a $200 level improvement? Yeah, Sony, what are we doing?
And Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, we can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorav's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference, allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro. Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
You'll never break a legend, 'cause they don't know we're legendary.
Also, can I just say, like, okay, bro, listen. Obviously, there is a little bit of a difference between the look of this system and the regular PS5, but it's not substantial in any way. It's really not. And given with the PlayStation 4 Pro, it was the same way. Like, all they did was add like an extra deck on top of it. But I mean, dog, it's there's just nothing that's overly outstanding about this, other than the fact that you get high fidelity graphics without sacrificing frame rate. That's it. That's really like the big takeaway here. Other than that, why should I care? And if you're not somebody that's a big graphics person, if you're just here to play the games and have fun, you're not going to care either. Overall, I just feel like this system is not designed for the average gamer, for the mainstream gamer. And I feel like it's going to suffer heavily for that. I really do. I really do. And again, PlayStation 5, is it as beloved enough as PlayStation 4 to warrant a Pro model? I just don't think so.
Don't let me hang it.
No, dog, no. $700. Are you serious, Sony? Are you serious? $700? 700 for that? I mean, don't get me wrong. High fidelity graphics without sacrificing frame rate, good shit. But $200 extra dollars? It's not that good. Like, damn, dog. Bro, okay, look, honest to God, this just makes Sony look so out of touch. It makes them look so out of touch. And let me explain to you what I mean. Let me explain to you what I mean. We are in a very bad economy right now, okay? People are having a difficult time affording basic fucking needs, let alone luxury items like video games and video game consoles. So let me explain something to you guys. Charging $200 extra bucks for this just shows a massive level of disconnect between Sony and gamers. And as somebody, and remember, I'm a Sony guy, okay? I love PlayStation. I mean, listen, I've not really ever been an Xbox guy. I've never really been an Xbox guy. I owned a 360 briefly, but I've never been an Xbox guy. And obviously, I do love my Nintendo. But Sony has been numero uno since I was a kid. I grew up with PlayStation 1. All right. Christ alive, dog. This hurts. I mean, as a Sony fan, I can't defend this. I won't even attempt to defend this. There is no defending this. This fucking hurts. Oh, this hurts like a bitch. This hurts like a bitch, man. It really does. It really does. I mean, hell, my dogs are barking outside. Even they're pissed about it. They're like, Sony. Grr, Sony. Dog, this hurts like a bitch. I mean, this is not fun. This is not cool, Sony. $200 extra dollars for this? No, let me explain something to you guys. At most, add another $50. I get it. Not having to sacrifice graphic fidelity for frame rates, that's cool. Maybe add another $50 to the price tag. But $200? You are out of your fucking minds. You're fucking crazy. That's insane. I mean, holy shit. When PlayStation 6 comes out, are we going to get that $999 price point? Is that shit going to happen? Are we going to get the $1,000 home console? Sony, nah, man. Like, this is not good. If anything, given how bad the economy is and how much people are struggling, you would think instead of releasing a PlayStation 5 Pro and charging $200 extra for it, you would think they would actually release like a PlayStation 5 Slim. And you know what the other crazy thing is about this? And I just noticed this. I didn't notice this before. But this thing doesn't even have a disk drive. $200 extra bucks and it doesn't even have a disk drive? Are you insane, Sony? And the other thing that is the cherry on top of the insult sundae, vertical stand sold separately. Fuck you. So you're charging me an extra $200, an extra $200, and you take away the disk drive and you take away the vertical stand? No thanks, Sony. No thanks. If you wanted to charge an extra $50 with the disk drive, with the vertical stand, for higher fidelity graphics, without sacrificing frame rate, all right, cool. Whatever. Fine. Seems reasonable. I'll take it. Fuck it. But $200? Y'all are out of your damn minds. And everybody's calling. I mean, honest to God, you have PlayStation fans. It's not many, but you have some PlayStation fans that are legit considering converting to Xbox. That's wild. That's wild. But no, you would think in this type of economy, they would actually come out with a PlayStation 5 Slim or something like that. You know, like a PlayStation 5 Slim. It's like $100 cheaper. Sony. Come on, Sony. This is nuts. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. I can't believe y'all have done this shit. Y'all, as a Sony fan, you make me look bad. And you know what? I'll tell you right now, man. Right now is a good time for Nintendo to come out with that Switch 2. Now is a good time for Nintendo to announce the Nintendo Switch 2. Because I know that bitch is not even going to come anywhere near $700. I know that bitch is not going to come anywhere near $700. That bitch is probably going to be $399 if we're being completely honest. But after this debacle, after turning the entire internet against you, Sony, oh my God. If Nintendo announced the Switch 2 this week or next week for like $399 or something, like they would look so good right now. It'd be like, listen, dog, we're the affordable console and we have some excellent gameplay experiences for you. Come on over. Like they would look real good right now. They would look real good right now. Nintendo needs to drop the Nintendo Switch. They need to announce that this week or next week, and they'll really show Sony up. They'll really show Sony up, straight up. Oh my God, Sony, y'all are awful for this. Where's my PlayStation 5 Slim, dog? Y'all are terrible for this. This is awful. Anyways, that being said, I'll catch you guys later. Tell me what you think about the PlayStation 5 Pro. Do you think this shit is absolutely ridiculous and it just shows a level of disconnect and being out of touch that we haven't seen from Sony in a while? Like this is, they're so out of touch, man. This level of disconnect is just insane, man. Like, give me your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And, you know, that being said, if you want to help your boy out financially, I know it says super chats down below. I don't have that yet on this channel, but, you know, subscribe, help your boy become monetized. And if you want to, channel memberships, you know, if we get to 500 subs, channel memberships will be coming to the gaming channel. I've already got channel memberships on the other channel. Check that out. You can join the Patreon for $1.99 a month. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff is there as well. If you can, if you feel extra generous, much appreciated. If you can't support the channel financially, hey, you can always support us by subscribing, liking the video, clicking the bell for notifications, and sharing this with others so they can join in on the fun as well. That being said, tell me what you guys think about this in the comments down below. This is your boy, JeskerJames, and I am out. Peace.